Welcome to Your Health Matters. Last time we met, we actually talked about 8 laws of health or 8 principles of health that can help enrich your mind, body, and spirit. So we also talked about nutrition, exercise. We talked about water. We talked about sunshine, trusting God. We also talked about the very importance of rest and also being outside and getting exercise. Today, we're actually going to focus on nutrition. So your nutrition does really matter for your mind, body, and spirit. But what I do want to remind the viewers are that this is for educational purposes only. It is not to be given medical advice. If you need medical advice, please consult your physician. Today, our presenter is Emilyn Mark. She has a master's degree in public health with an emphasis on functional nutrition. She's going to share with you today how what you eat really does matter. And so we know in the Bible it says, whatsoever you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. Welcome, Emilyn. We're excited that you're here today, and we want to hear what you have to say about nutrition.
Thank you for having me. And sure, nutrition is so important. You know, the question is asked, what is nutrition? Well, nutrition is the study of nutrients in food, how the body uses them, and the relationship between diet, health, and disease. Nutrition also focuses on dietary choices that one makes in order to reduce the risk of disease. Not having the correct balance of nutrient in our diet could lead to poor health. We are with the various nutrients one needs to consume in order to stay healthy. For example, carbohydrates, protein, healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. These are all important to have in our diet. If we do have these in right balance, all these nutrients in our diet, if we do not have these nutrients, in our diets, we run the risk of developing certain health conditions. Nutrients are divided into 2 categories. We have macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those things like carbohydrate, protein, fats. Those are considered macronutrients. Macronutrients are nutrients that we need relatively in larger quantities compared to micronutrients. Carbohydrates, for instance, there are 2 forms of carbohydrates. They are the simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are sugar, processed or refined starches. These forms of simple carbohydrates break down quickly in our bodies and provide rapid energy, but they do not last long. They make you feel hungry after a short period of time and tired and weak. They can also cause spike in your blood sugar levels. These frequent sugar spike increase the risk of type 2 diabetes and its complications. Complex carbohydrates, on the other hand, are non-processed foods that are in the natural form and therefore contain fiber and starch. Very important. It takes the body a longer period of time to break down complex carbohydrates. Therefore, after eating a meal that is high in complex carbohydrates, a person feels full for a longer period of time, and it cut down overeating. Complex carbohydrates are more helpful choices than those simple carbohydrates. The second micronutrient or macronutrient is protein. Proteins are made up of amino acids. There are 20 types of amino acids. Some of these are essential, mean that we need to obtain these amino acids from our foods. Our body does not produce them, and some our bodies can produce. So those are non-essential amino acids. Some foods provide complete protein, which means they contain all the 20 amino acids that I just said. Other foods contain various combinations of amino acids. Most plant-based foods do contain complete but most plant-based foods do not contain complete carbohydrate, protein. They do not contain the complete protein. But when combining these proteins, combining two of them together, it can form a complete protein. For example, whole grain rice and beans, or nut butter and whole grain bread can provide you with a complete protein. It is important for those who follow a vegetarian diet to combine foods that will provide these essential amino acids. Combining grains and legumes is a great way to satisfy this concern. Fats, another macronutrient. Fat is essential for several bodily functions. It's a source for energy. It protects the skeleton and nervous system. Fat also makes it possible for our nutrients to do their jobs. There are some forms of fat that are harmful. Saturated fats, trans fats are considered unhealthy fats. These fats can raise your cholesterol level. They can lead to obesity, liver disease, and other health problems. Meat, dairy produce, snacks, snack foods, and baked goods contain these bad fats, saturated and trans fats. Unsaturated fats, on the other hand, are healthy form of fat. Unsaturated fats support health, and they are either monosaturated fats or polysaturated fats. Those are good fats. Some sources of unsaturated fats are healthy fats that are found in nuts, oils, seeds, avocados. Good source of fat. The fourth macronutrient that I'm going to talk about is fiber. Dietary fiber, also known as roughage, it is the indigestible part of food, of plant food. Fiber has a host of health benefits, including reducing the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes and colorectal cancer. Fiber is mostly found in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes. There are two types of fiber. We have soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And both plays an important role in our health. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water and add bulk to your stool, preventing constipation. Soluble fiber absorbs water. It forms a gel-like substance in the digestive system. This soluble fiber help our cholesterol level and help regulate blood sugars levels. So those are the four types of macro. Now we're going to look at micronutrients. Micronutrients are usually essential in small amounts. We don't need a whole lot of it. Small amounts work just well. They include vitamins and minerals. Vitamins can be divided into water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins. Water-soluble vitamins are our 8B vitamins and vitamin C. Fat-soluble vitamins are vitamin A, D, E, and K. Water-soluble vitamins, we need to consume them on a regular basis because our body does not store this form of vitamin. While fat-soluble vitamins, the body can store it for a longer period of time, and it's not really removed as quickly as from the body as water-soluble vitamins. The other micronutrients are minerals. In most cases, a very balanced diet will provide the minerals a person needs. If we're deficient in, if a deficiency occurs in these minerals, sometimes our doctors will recommend supplementation. Here are some of the minerals to function. potassium, sodium, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, iron, copper, zinc, selenium, and manganese. These are some of the essential minerals that we need. The best way to get these vitamins and minerals is to eat a wide variety of foods. We all know the saying that variety is the spice of life. Unless we eat a wide variety of foods, we will be missing out on these essential vitamins and minerals. It is said you need to eat a rainbow of colorful foods. The pigments that give foods their color are nutrients and nutritious substance that reduce the risk of cancer, heart disease, and other chronic disease. And where do we find these colorful foods? Of course, in our fruits and vegetables. It says foods with the most pigment power are mostly fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are not only full of vitamins and minerals, but they are packed with antioxidants that helps to reduce free radicals in our bodies. Free radicals are unstable molecules in our body that damage cells and believed to contribute to the development of many diseases. What does a healthy diet look like? You might have heard different take on this subject, even among nutritionists. There is a clear diet plan that if we follow, we will not go wrong. In Genesis 1:29, our Creator laid out a dietary plan for us to follow. Then God said, "Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruits contain seed. They will be your food." Several researchers have concluded plant-based diet is the best diet for human consumption. Take, for example, Dr. Dean Ornish. He did a research and published it in the Journal of American Medicine back in 1999. He was able to reverse, his research showed that he was able to reverse heart disease on patients who followed a vegetarian diet, plus he had other healthy lifestyle changes he added to it, but they followed a vegetarian diet and they were able to reverse their heart condition. The China study, for example, which was published in 2005, examined the effects of animal protein intake and it said that the effects of animal protein intake increase the risk of cancer. It also concluded that animal protein is most likely to cause cancer than plant-based diet. Dr. Gary Fraser, another author about the benefits of plant-based diets, said that there is convincing evidence that vegetarians have lower rate of coronary artery disease, lower rates of hypertension and diabetes, and lower prevalence of obesity. Overall, their cancer rates appear to be moderately lower than others living in the same community, and life expectancy appear to be greater. After reviewing 80 scientific studies, Dr. Susan Burkow and Neil Bernard concluded that a randomized clinical trial have shown that blood pressure is lower when animal products are replaced with vegetable products. They did this study in both patients that were had normal blood pressure and those with high shows an improvement. All these studies supports the Genesis diet that was given to man from the foundation of the world. Unfortunately, many of us are not following this diet. Janet Renee, a registered dietitian, said only 10% of adults manage to eat the recommended servings of fruits and vegetables each day. A plant-based diet is the cornerstone of healthy eating. Plant foods, fruits, and vegetables contain the vitamin, minerals, and other substance our body needs to function properly. That's why the Department of Health publish a guideline every 5 years. They come up with a guideline for the recommendation for what we need to eat. According to its recommendation, we need to eat at least 2 to 3 cups of vegetables per day, 2 cups of fruits per day, 25 grams of fiber for women and 38 grams of fiber for men. Adults over 55 maybe need to eat 21 grams of fiber for women and 30 grams of fiber for men. Protein, on the other hand, women need to eat like 46 grams, while men 56 grams of protein. Carbohydrates, 40 to 55% of a person's diet should consist of carbohydrates. Fats, 20 to 35% of daily calorie intake. A common concern about vegetarian diets is that they might lack sufficient protein. However, many experts agree that a well-planned vegetarian diet can provide you with the nutrients you need. With that said, certain plant foods contain significantly more protein than others. For example, tofu, tempeh have 10 to 19 grams of protein per 3.5 ounce. And besides the protein, it contains iron and calcium. Lentils, for example, 18 grams of protein, 18 grams of protein in 1 cup of cooked lentils. In addition, lentils are rich in folic, magnesium, and iron. They also contain a lot of antioxidants that helps with healing our bodies. Chickpeas, for example, another good source of protein. As a matter of fact, most variety of beans contain protein. 15 grams of protein to 1 cup. They are excellent source of complex carbohydrate, fiber, iron, folic, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and several other beneficial plant compounds. I can go on, naming several more. Green peas, for example, that little innocent green peas, 8 grams in 1 cup. It contains slightly more protein than a cup of milk, a serving of a cup of milk. It also has 25% more of our daily fiber that we need, vitamin A, C, K, thiamine, folic, magnesium, and the list goes on. Oatmeal, have a half a cup of raw oatmeal, has about 6 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber, and zinc and other nutrients. Carbohydrates, we can find carbohydrates in potatoes, for example. Potatoes has about 168 calories, which is like 37 grams of carbohydrates, and it has 4 grams of fiber. It has some sugar, 2 grams, but the fiber and the sugar cancel out each other. Peas, for example, it has 117 calories in 1 cup with 21 grams of carbohydrate, plus fiber and potassium and magnesium, zinc, and several other ingredients. Butterscotch, for example, there's in 1 cup you can have 82 calories with 21.5 grams of carbohydrates, 6.6 grams of fiber, and plus other nutrients like iron, calcium, potassium, vitamin C. All of these things we can find in 1 food. Fats, good healthy fats. You can find avocado. Has in avocado, there are about 77% of fat in an avocado. Avocado has, besides the fat, it has potassium. It has more potassium than a banana. It's a good source of fiber. Studies have shown that Avocado can lower LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, which are the bad type of cholesterols, while it raises HDL, which are the good types of cholesterol. Dark chocolate is another very high fat and good source of fiber and iron, magnesium, copper. I'm talking about, when I say dark chocolate, I'm not talking about those sweet milk chocolates. Dark chocolate, 70% or so chocolate. That's what I'm talking about. Fiber. I don't even have to mention fiber, because I just mentioned they all contain fiber. Fruits, nuts, and vegetables are all good source of fiber. So what do we need to do with all of this information? I would encourage those of you who are already following a plant-based diet to continue doing so. And those who are not yet following a plant-based diet, but maybe thinking about it, I maybe start incorporating one food at a time, switching out maybe an orange drink for a whole orange, eat an extra bowl of fruit, maybe add extra vegetables to your diet. Research have shown that by just changing one thing in your diet, you can add extra years to your life. So let's start with some baby steps so we can grow to change our lives forever.
Well, you know, Emilyn, you have given us a lot of good information about the different types of foods that we eat. I like that you broke it down by the macro and the micro foods that we need that are requirements in our body, because it's very important for us to understand that there's certain vitamins and minerals in our foods that if we are not mindful that we need them, we may actually be deficient in them. I like that you said the food is the spice of life, because we enjoy eating. And I like that we have different colors of food that we can actually, like the rainbow, that we can put on our plate and really make our plates attractive. And not only attractive, but they can add to the healing of our body. Some of the studies that you referenced, I'm interested in hearing a little bit more about it. So I understood you to say that certain foods and vegetables, certain fruits and vegetables are very good for us because it can reduce our risk of cancer. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. For example, colorectal cancer is very prominent in our society. And by eating foods that are high in fiber, it helps prevent colorectal cancer, because we need fiber in our food to help clean the colon. It's acts like a broom. Think about a broom. When you have to floor, you take a broom and you sweep and you get all the dust and stuff off the floor, and your floor is now clean. So the fiber in our foods acts like a broom. As it goes through the colon, it sweeps away all the stuff that has been collecting over a period of time in our colon. It sweeps that out and help us to maintain a clean, balanced colon. Fiber helps to also with our stability of our internal, gut bio. It's stable. We need good bacteria in our guts. The bad bacteria cannot strive when we have good, healthy fiber in our diet. So all those things eliminate cancer, because cancer is known to thrive on sugar, for example. By having a colon, having fiber in your diet, it helps decrease that sugar concentration in your gut, prevent cancer from forming.
Wow. So, you know, some of the foods that we eat, I like that you talked about the fiber, because many times we don't even think about our gut. We just want to get full when we eat. So we don't think about that. We need to make sure that we sweep it out, clean it out, so that we can actually reduce our risk of getting colon cancer. Another question that people often ask is about, can diet reverse diabetes too? What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, they have research done For example, that research done by Dr. Campbell, the China study, that was a research that was done for about 20 years with about 6,000 individuals that he looked over a period of 20 years. And he found that by eating a plant-based diet, these people were able to reverse their hypertension, reverse their diabetes, reverse other chronic diseases, obesity. They were able to lose weight because these were the right type of food that our body needs. The body knew what to do with this type of food. It was not stressed, because when you eat all of these foods with chemicals, it puts more because the body has to get rid of all of these excess chemicals that's in our body. So by eating a plant-based diet, research have shown that it can decrease all of these chronic diseases.
Well, and I actually absolutely like that you mentioned that if someone wants to get started, they can just start with making one choice or changing one thing in their diet, maybe not the orange drink or soda, but using an orange, or actually replacing it with some type of a fruit. And that can actually help them on their journey to health and wellness. So I like that. It seems like it's very manageable and doable, that if individuals will choose maybe just one thing that they'll do different, that they can actually see a difference in, maybe I see their blood pressure or their blood glucose levels or even their cholesterol levels. One last question that I have for you pertains to soft drinks. And I think we've kind of talked about that a little bit, but sometimes people are concerned about whether or not soft drinks really contribute to weight gain or not. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. Soft drinks. Now, in these soft drinks, we need to look at when we look at a can of soda or any type of soft drink, it is packed with sugar, and sugar is deadly. Research over research after research have shown that sugar is one of the reasons why we have all these chronic conditions. Sugar causes inflammation in the body. Inflammation is the main cause for a lot of our chronic conditions like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cancer, all of the obesity. Sugar is the main cause of it. Inflammation is the main cause of it, which stems from sugar. So sugar, it's packed with sugar. There's no fiber in it. In order for sugar to stabilize in our bodies, we need fiber to go along with it. That's why eating a fruit is not bad, although it's full of sugar. There's fiber and other micronutrients and phytonutrients that's in that apple, for example. Although it's sweet, it has those nutrients in there that can stabilize. The body knows exactly what to do with it, and it takes care of it. There's not that spike in sugar and causing any kind of complications like that. So sodas can cause other issues like osteoporosis because it leaks the phosphorus and calcium from when we consume too much sodas. Sodas is known to cause our bones to get weak because it leaks, it takes out all the calcium and the phosphorus that's in our bones that we need for healthy, strong bones. So instead of drinking sodas, maybe some people would like, something sweet to drink. You can start off by putting maybe some fruit in your drink, a strawberry or orange or something like that, that can give it that flavor. Some people like a flavor, because I've heard people say they cannot drink water because it doesn't have a taste. So if you can start doing that, or start cutting back on your soda intake, because those things sodas are not healthy and not good for us. They cause more complications.
So it really is clear then from what you've said from research that the sugar and the soda contributes to weight gain, inflammation can contribute to some of the diseases that we're trying to prevent, And so instead of doing soda, maybe doing some type of a water with a fruit in it, so a natural fruit versus something that is sugary or just plain water, if people are comfortable drinking that. So we've learned a lot about nutrition today. Our nutrition not only matters for our health and our well-being, but it really does matter to God. I like the verse that you read in Genesis 1 regarding that God has given us everything that we need, that we can actually eat well and to stay well. I heard early in your conversation, in our conversation, that an imbalance between our diet and what our body really needs can lead to disease. So when there's an imbalance, then it can lead to disease. But when we balance those things, we can actually have a more abundant life. We can actually extend our life by eating the right things in our diet. So today we've actually been talking to Emilyn Mark. She has a master's degree in public health with an emphasis on functional nutrition. And functional nutrition is really, what does the body need to stay well and healthy? And so our next topic that we will be talking about, I want to thank you, Emilyn, for sharing today that information regarding our bodies and nutrition. That has been really very eye-opening. Are there any final remarks that you'd like to say about nutrition, Emilyn?
Sure. Nutrition is the building block for health. If you're not healthy, you would not feel good about yourself. You have low self-esteem. You feel depressed. You do not want to, be out with friends and family. You just excluded. And most of all, you will not be able to communicate with your maker because you don't feel, to do so. Health is the foundation. Nutrition is the foundation to health. That is where the keys of health is hung on nutrition. If we can have good, healthy nutrition, eat right, in moderation, balance what we eat, we will be able to glorify our maker. We'll be able to have a happier life and be better citizens in our community.
Thank you so much. So, we don't want to only eat because it tastes good, but we want to eat for energy. And we want it to be the building block that Emily spoke about, because if we do not eat well, there's nothing else in life that's going to actually, we're not going to have anything to build on. And ultimately, we want to glorify God, who is our maker, who has given us the foods that we need that can help us actually to live our best life. Thank you again, Emlyn. I do want to thank you for being here. Our next topic that we're going to talk about is exercise. And so in order to exercise, make sure that you start your journey for nutrition. But our next topic will be exercise. We hope that you will join us. You will learn how exercise not only keeps you moving, but how it does contribute to your health and your well-being. Until next time, be blessed.
Thank you.